Welcome to your daily solo 401k webinar and Q&A session with my solo 401k financial, where we help you to stop overpaying for taxes and start building real retirement wealth. Today's topic is, can I buy silver with my solo 401k? Or more specifically, with any type of 401k. So most traditional 401ks, like those offered by banks, such as Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, or brokerage firms like Fidelity, Schwab, E-Trade, and so forth, do not allow for direct investing in physical silver. They restrict you to mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, and index funds. But with the self-directed solo 401k, like the one offered by my solo 401k financial, you can use checkbook control to buy physical silver bullion, silver coins, and even still invest in silver-backed ETFs. In short, with the self-directed solo 401k, you control what investments you can make under that solo 401k plan, provided they are allowed under the IRS regulations. So the investments are not controlled by the brokerage firm or the bank. So this is your chance to get answers. Use the chat to ask questions on today's topic or anything else. Type them over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. Let's continue. So, can I buy silver with my 401k? Well, again, it depends on whether you have a traditional 401k or a self-directed solo 401k, which is offered by my solo 401k financial. And do the IRS rules allow for it? They certainly do. The IRS regulations do allow for investing in precious metals, whether gold or silver. Again, it comes down to the 401k provider. So a solo 401k that's self-directed with checkbook control, like the one offered by my solo 401k financial, does allow for investing in silver. With regards to whether you can hold the physical silver, the answer is no, and we're going to talk more about that. The silver has to be held with an approved depository taking institution, such as in a safety deposit box at your local bank, solely for holding the silver. And other solo 401k metals like gold, for example. We're going to talk about how it works when you utilize a self-directed solo 401k to invest in silver. So again, the key to being able to invest in physical silver comes down to the solo 401k plan document provider. So here at my solo 401k financial, we draft a plan to allow for investing in metals, physical metals, whether it's gold or silver, for example. Now, oftentimes when you hear the word checkbook control, that applies to a solo 401k plan, and it means that you can serve as your own trustee of the plan, and therefore you can make your own investment decisions with regards to all the bells and whistles that apply to the plan, whether it's making voluntary after-tax contributions as part of the mega backdoor Roth, to making alternative investments, whether cryptocurrency, real estate, or even precious metals such as silver, for example. So in short, you get to decide what to invest in as long as it falls within the IRS regulations. So with my solo 401k financial, we'll provide a solo 401k, also known as a retirement trust, that will allow you to invest in metals and will help you to open up the bank and or brokerage account for that solo 401k at your local bank or at a brokerage firm like Fidelity or Schwab. And then you'll be able to invest directly through those holding accounts for the plan. So it looks like we've got a question here. Tax credit. How do you get around having a non-highly compensated participant? Here's the criteria I have from IRS. Eligible employers should qualify to claim this credit if you had 100 or fewer employees who received at least $5,000 in compensation from you for the preceding year. You had at least one plan participant who was a non-highly compensated employee, and so forth. So don't confuse the auto contribution credit with the tax credit, because the auto contribution credit is available to a solo 401k, but the tax credit is not. And let me share with you an article that my colleague wrote on this topic, because there are a lot of tax professionals, even seasoned tax professionals, who get tripped up on the auto contribution credit versus the tax credit. Give me a moment here and I will pull that up here. Pull up that article so that you can reference it. And it's actually titled Solo 401k Tax Credits Explained. Don't let your CPA cost you $1,500. So here's there's the link to that article that my colleague wrote. So take a look at that. So good question. Okay, let's see here. Looks like we have some more questions coming in here. Can I contribute employee pre-tax dollars in my solo 401k at the very end of the year? Last payroll for the full amount of $23,500? Great question. And the short answer is yes. Why? Because keep in mind, this is a solo 401k plan. It's not a traditional 401k. A traditional 401k is one offered for a full-time employer. A solo 401k plan, on the other hand, also known as an individual 401k, solo K, personal K, it's all the same thing, also known as a self-employed 401k. The rules are more lax because you don't employ any common law full-time W-2 employees. If you do employ any full-time W-2 common law employees, which is an individual who's not an owner in your business, who works 1,000 hours or more, you would not qualify to open a solo 401k. That's number one. Number two, if you look at IRS publication number 560, which is the IRS publication for self-employed business retirement plans, whether a SEP IRA, simple IRA, or a solo 401k, you're going to find a chart on the first few pages that specifically talks about how a solo 401k does not fall under Title I of ERISA, and therefore you can contribute to the solo 401k plan all the way up until your business tax return due date plus timely filed extension. So for example, if you're trying to make a contribution to the solo 401k for tax year 2025, there's no need to be in a rush to do so. Why? Because both employee and employer contributions can be made by your business tax return due date in 2026 plus timely filed extension. And we actually have a really good chart on our website that breaks down the contribution deadlines by entity type. So for example, if your self-employed business is taxed as an S corporation, you have until March 15 of 2026 to make both employee and employer contributions. And if you file for an extension for that business, you're going to have an extra 6 months. So all the way up until September 15 of 2026 to make both employee and employer contributions for tax year 2025. So in short, you have plenty of time. Let me go ahead and share a link with you here. I just shared a link with you take a look at that link there to a page on our website that goes over the contribution deadlines by self-employed entity type. Okay, let's see here. Another question here. If I have a separate defined benefit plan, can I still contribute 6% to the employer profit sharing portion of the 401k, correct? That's absolutely right. We have a lot of clients that have what we refer to as a DBK. DB stands for defined benefit plan. So they have a defined benefit plan, and then they open up a solo 401k plan. That's where the K comes in. So when you have both a defined benefit plan and a solo 401k for your self-employed business, that's called a DBK in the industry. So you are correct. You can make it a 6% employer contribution to that solo 401k plan. You cannot make the 25% that you can typically make as an employer contribution, and that's because you're also participating in a defined benefit plan. However, you can also make employee contributions to that solo 401k and even voluntary after-tax solo 401k contributions to the solo 401k as part of the Mega Backdoor Wealth. Let me share a link from our website that talks about contributing to both a defined benefit plan and a solo 401k in the same year. So yeah, those who are fortunate enough, they can really supercharge their retirement savings by contributing to both a defined benefit plan and a solo 401k. So let me share a couple links here regarding defined benefit plans. There's the first link. Take a look at that. And then I have another one here about contributing to both a defined benefit plan and a solo 401k plan. So take a look at this link here as well. So as you can see, we have a lot of resources on our website. We've been in business for over 15 years. So obviously, during those 15 plus years, we've been fortunate enough to publish a lot of educational information. So that leads me to the fact that you should certainly subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a My Community that you should take a look at, which has over 30,000 members. Let me see if I can share that slide here. Take a look at that in My Community as well. So here's a good slide here. There's our YouTube channel. We have over 950 videos now on all the educational content that we've published surrounding solo 401k plans and even self-directed IRAs. If you take a look at that My Community, you can also be a member for free. We don't charge for you to be a member, and you can access forums and post forums. If you're a financial professional, you can even post a guest blog post, so you can share your knowledge and information about your services and even link it back to your website so that the 30,000 plus eyeballs in our community can review your services and then may even reach out to you for your services. So again, please like and subscribe to today's webinar as it helps get the word out to other solopreneurs like yourself. Okay, let's get back here. Looks like we have some more questions here. Again, today's topic is, can I buy silver with my 401k? We're also answering questions here as they come in. Let's see what other questions we might have here. Here's a question here. Hi, I have a solo 401k with you, and there appears to be no direct way to transfer funds from my business account at the Bank of America to the brokerage account with Fidelity. Can you recommend the simplest direct way to transfer funds? Great question. And there is actually a very easy way to do that. you're going to be able to link your business bank account to that Fidelity brokerage account for your solo 401k. And I'm going to share some information on our website for you that'll walk you on how to do that. And so it all starts at your bank. So the business bank account, you would link that bank account to your Fidelity brokerage account. So you will log into your Bank of America bank account and provide them with the necessary information, such as the routing number for Fidelity and your account number for that brokerage account for the solo 401k that we offer over at Fidelity. That's ACH. So the contributions will flow electronically from that business bank account to the solo 401k brokerage account at Fidelity. And let me pull up a guide that I can share with you. Give me a moment here. Okay, let me share this link with you. So take a look at that link right there. That there, you'll learn how to link your bank account so that you can make contributions to that solo 401k. Okay, so if this information is helping you feel more confident about your future, please take 1 second to like and subscribe. It tells the platform that this content is valuable, which helps other solopreneurs like you to find it. Subscribing guarantees you get notifications of all of our crucial content that we deliver every day to help you secure your retirement. Let's see if we have any other questions here. You're welcome. Let's see here. So go ahead and type your questions and we'll get to them as we continue with our topic for today. Here's a question here. Your solo 401k features include an auto contribution credit. So even if I don't actually do auto contribution, I'm all set for the auto contribution credit, correct? So you are correct. And let's jump to some slides on that front. Give me a moment here. So let's talk about the auto contribution credits, which is such a hot topic today, and rightfully so. So the auto contribution credit, even though it's called the auto contribution credit, you're not required to contribute in order to qualify for it. And here at my solo 401k financial, we draft all the new solo 401k plans to allow for that auto contribution, along with the applicable schedules. So not all plan providers out there will provide a solo 401k plan that comes with the auto contribution credit. So the traditional providers like Fidelity and Schwab don't provide a solo 401k plan that allows for it. Now, as far as when it first became available, we didn't start offering it in our plan documents till January 1st of 2024 and after. So if you're an existing client of my solo 401k financial from December of 2023 and prior, we can actually update your plan to include that auto contribution credit. So both new clients and existing clients qualify for it. It just needs to be added to your plan. I'm going to go ahead and share a support ticket there's a support page right there I just shared with you from our website where you can submit a support ticket. If you're an existing client prior to December of 2023, we can add the auto contribution credit to your plan. Likewise, if you already have a solo 401k plan at another institution, we can restate that plan to our plan and add that auto contribution credit to it, and you can start taking advantage of the auto contribution credit now. So let's talk a little bit more about the auto contribution credit. So it's a dollar for dollar tax credit equal to $500 per year for a maximum of $1,500 over 3 years. And again, you have to use the services of a solo 401k plan provider whose plan allows for that auto contribution credit. And again, it can be added to both new clients and existing clients. So with these tax credits, the ultimate cost to both open and maintain a solo 401k is practically free. The $1,500 stimulus is greater than the cost to open and maintain a self-directed solo 401k for years to come. And the tax credit is not merely a deductible expense, but rather a dollar for dollar reduction in your business tax liability. So it's much more favorable. Once it's been added to your plan, you can opt out of contributing and contribute in whichever amount you want up to the overall limit for the year, which, for example, is $70,000 for someone who's under age 50 for tax year 2025. You're going to claim that $500 credit each year for a total of 3 years in $500 increments by filing Form 8881, and we have a walkthrough video and PowerPoint that you can utilize when you file that Form 8881 with your business tax return. It's not a very tough form to fill out. It's only a 2-page form and only a particular section needs to be filled out. So that's some good information about the auto contribution credit. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions here before we continue with our topic for today, which is, can I buy silver with my 401k? And as you've learned thus far, the answer is yes, you can, provided you utilize the self-directed solo 401k plan. Okay. Here's a question. Anything with Schwab I need to know, like for Fidelity, question, answer above? Well, let me send over a link from our website that compares utilizing Fidelity or Schwab for the solo 401k that we offer, where you utilize Fidelity or Schwab to hold the funds, and this will help answer your question. Okay, so here's the link. So take a look at that link right there, where you can compare the Fidelity brokerage account versus the Schwab brokerage account for a solo 401k offered by my solo 401k financial. One thing that stands out, but again, you want to take a look at that link to that page on our website for an in-depth comparison. But a couple things that stand out is that with Fidelity, it's much easier to make annual contributions to the solo 401k versus utilizing Schwab, because with Fidelity you can link your business bank account to the brokerage accounts. With Schwab, they make it a little more complicated. You won't be able to link your external bank account with that Schwab brokerage account, but if you do open up a separate brokerage account at Schwab in the name of your business, then you can link that brokerage account at Schwab with the solo 401k brokerage account at Schwab for my solo 401k financial. Now, one item where Schwab is a little different than Fidelity from an investment perspective, more specifically alternative investments, and we're talking about investing in silver today, for example. Let's say you want to invest in silver. And again, our plan here in my solo 401k financial allows for it, and you can use Fidelity or Schwab to hold the funds for the solo 401k. If you want to make an alternative investment like investing in silver, then with Schwab, you can fax in the wire directive so that they can wire the funds out to the silver dealer to buy those silver metals. Whereas with Fidelity, you would have to take the wire directive to the local branch or mail it to them. So it's not as streamlined from making an alternative investment like silver. Okay, but take a look at that link I just sent over. So let's continue with how can I buy silver with my 401k, and then we'll look at some more questions as they come in. So yeah, you can certainly invest in silver using a solo 401k plan. You just want to make sure that they're acceptable types of silver. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. But you would first establish a solo 401k with a company like my solo 401k financial, We would then assist you in opening up bank or brokerage accounts in the name of the Solo 401k plan. And you can fund that Solo 401k plan by making annual contributions and or transferring IRAs or former employer plan funds, and we can assist with that process as well. That's all covered in our services. And then after that, it's time to purchase the silver. Now, it's got to be approved silver. You can't just start buying any type of silver out there. So some examples of approved silver are American Eagle coins, Australian Kookaburra coins. That's an interesting name. Austrian Vienna Philharmonic coins, Canadian Maple Leaf coins, Mexican Liberated coins, and so forth. You can even invest in silver bars and rounds, as long as they're produced by a manufacturer who's accredited by NYMEX, COMEX, LME, LBMA, and so forth. And of course, it's got to have a minimum finesse quality to it, typically 0.995% or more. Now, when you make the investment in that physical silver, you're going to need to make sure that silver is stored with an approved depository taking institution. In short, you cannot store silver, physical silver, at your home or your office. It's probably not a good idea anyways from a safety perspective, but you can store it in a safety deposit box at the local bank or credit union that's solely used to store that silver and other solo 401k assets like recorded deeds of trust if you invest in physical real estate, for example. So here are some IRS rules to know when investing in silver through a solo 401k plan. Again, I talked about how it must meet a certain finesse standard, so 99.9% or higher. It's got to be stored with an approved depository taking institution, such as your local bank, and such as in a safety deposit box at your local bank. Do not store any of your personal assets in that same safety deposit box, because it's supposed to be strictly used to hold solo 401k assets like precious metals, whether gold and or silver. And when you invest in that silver, you want to make sure that the invoice is issued in the name of the solo 401k. That's further proof that it was made by the solo 401k plan. So with the self-directed solo 401k, the advantage of it is that you can diversify away from Wall Street. You can still invest in equities, of course, whether it's stocks or mutual funds or index funds, but you're also going to be able to invest in alternative investments like real estate, private equity, cryptocurrency, precious metals, promissory notes, and so forth. So the key takeaway is that yes, you can invest in silver with your solo 401k as long as it's a self-directed solo 401k. And a solo 401k offered by my solo 401k financial is such a plan that allows for investing in silver. So you want to make sure that, and here in my solo 401k financial, we'll make sure that plan is structured legally so it allows for alternative investments. We'll help you stay in compliance with the IRS by providing ongoing support when you have questions about the rules and regulations. Okay. Looks like we've got some questions here. Let's take a look at those questions. So, I already have a solo 401k. Do I need to do anything to formally opt out of the auto contribution? You would have already opted out because we provided you with an opt-out form to opt out. And again, even if you opt out, you're still going to be able to contribute to the plan. All right, so I don't see any other questions for now. Well, I guess that's it for today. for today's solo 401k session. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Your time is valuable and your retirement future is worth it. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe so we can keep building this community. We'll be back here in a few hours with more crucial content to help you secure your retirement. Have a good rest of the morning.